Hi, everyone, and a pleasant good evening to you wherever you may be. I am Tony Abatey. Welcome back into the Tiger Dome here this evening as we've got the second match for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers coming up in just a couple of minutes. Fort Scott lost their first match tonight as they played a very tight match with Labette County. Lost it in 2 sets, but the second set had to go extra after losing the first one 25-17. I believe that second set score was 28-26, but they gave a very good account of themselves in that first match against a very tough Labette County team, and we'll see how things go for them here in match number 2 against Parsons. Parsons was just defeated by Chanute in 2 sets in their first match of the night. Fort Scott, of course, had that time slot off, and so they will play Parsons, having a little bit of time to rest there, as Parsons will be back-to-back. So Fort Scott, again, they lost their first match in 2 sets, but again, very tight match earlier, and they will try to get a victory here tonight against Parsons in the closing match of the night. Again, thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV on YouTube.com. Again, we're very happy, very proud that we're able to bring this service to you. We do not have a lot of the volleyball matches scheduled for this season, just a couple more of the home matches this year. Scheduling-wise, it's worked out a little bit easier for us to do a couple of the home matches, so that's what we're planning on this year. Hopefully that will increase as we go along, but looking forward to being able to bring you more high school activities from Fort Scott here on Duckbait TV. We're set to do the rest of the football season, a couple more volleyball dates, and looking forward to basketball season where we're planning on doing the whole season for the boys and the girls as well, and then we'll see what the spring holds for us. But looking forward to being able to bring you this service. Again, thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. If you haven't done it already, please hit that subscribe button in the bottom of your screen there. If you're new to YouTube, that'll do a couple of things for you. First of all, when you log back into your YouTube account, it will show your subscriptions first, and so it'll be really easy to find us on Duckbait TV when you sign in the next time if you hit that subscribe button. The other thing it'll do is once we get to 1,000 subscribers, then YouTube automatically archives our broadcast. So that'll be good for folks down the road that would love to maybe watch a game on the way home or something like that later on. So that would be a good thing. So hit that subscribe button. There's no cost to it. Some YouTube pages make you pay, but we're not doing that. So there's no cost to it. Just hit that subscribe button, and that'll help us out and help you out too. As I mentioned, the next time you log in, you'll be able to find us really quickly with that. So, again, thanks to all of our sponsors for helping us out. Highway 3, modern personalized fleece name blankets, fun and unique personalized gifts. Follow their Facebook page at facebook.com/shophighway3 or check out their website, shophighway3.com. H2 Painting LLC, the right way the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2PaintingSEK. or call them at 620-605-2769. We're just about ready to get underway here in match number 2 of the evening for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers, as, again, they will try to win their first one of the night. They lost in 2 sets earlier this evening to Labette County, and we are underway as Raven Kegler sends the first serve across the net. This one hit wide. No, they say it was in, so it was a little bit wide, but they call it in, so 1-0 Parsons. Parsons in white with blue sleeves across the way. Fort Scott in white with black sleeves right in the near foreground with us here on the camera. Again, thanks for watching us, or thanks for joining us here on Duckbait TV. Kegler's got a nice little set there for Keegan. It's dug by Parsons. Now back around to the Parsons side of the net. A little drop shot, but it's taken by Fort Scott. Kegler gets it across the net. Now back it comes. And Raven couldn't quite get all the way around that swing from Labette County. Parsons. And it's now 2-0 in favor of the Lady Vikings. That ball may have been going out. It was dug anyway by one of the Lady Vikings. Ended up hitting one of the rafters in the roof, and Fort Scott got a little bit lucky that time. Briley Schaub looked like maybe just a little bit too much mustard on that one, but it works out for a point for the Lady Tigers. They get the point and serve back. Nice dig by Fort Scott. Over to Raven, now back across from Keegan. Dug on the other side by Parsons. A great dig that time by Hadley Forrester, the libero, and back across the net. Nice swing by Hazel Baker. They'll get it back to Dakota. Trying a little punch shot that time, but didn't get enough on it. And it'll go back over to Parsons. Parsons' earlier match against Chanute went very similarly to the way that Fort Scott's opening match went. Tough luck there for Avery Stewart as she couldn't get all the way around that dig. Out of bounds, it's now 4-1. Parsons. Lady Vikings lost the first set rather quickly to Chanute, but then battled in the second set. It did not go any extra points, but I believe both teams got to 20 points, and Parsons led most of the way until Chanute made a run right at the end to take it. Nice shot that time by Keegan Yarick. That'll get the Lady Tigers back on the scoreboard. Served by Keegan, trying to use a little bit of a tough angle that time. Unfortunately, didn't get it quite all the way over the net. Nice dig on the back row by Keegan. They'll hit to the near side, and Schaub with a little bit too much oomph behind that one. Goes out of bounds. It's now 6-2 in favor of Parsons. Again, if you're just joining us and you're new to volleyball, we'll play the best 2 out of 3 sets. First one to 25, winning by 2. Fort Scott had to use some extra points in their second set of their first match, as they lost that one 28-26. Now it's 6-3 as Fort Scott gets another point back. Schaub back to serve. Long serve, but dug there by Parsons. Get it back around. Nice dig by Keegan. They'll go to Dakota on the far side, and again, tried that little knuckle shot. He couldn't quite get enough on it to get it over the net. Go to Kylie on the far side. This time it's blocked by Parsons. Avery tried to dig it back in play and couldn't get all the way underneath it. So very quickly, Parsons has an 8-3 lead here in the first set. Over to Kylie. Her shot is blocked. Solo block that time by Anaya Hinman. And it's 9-3. Everything here in the early going of this opening frame going Parsons' way. Another point for the Lady Vikings, and that will prompt a timeout by Coach Kegler. So she'll take the first Lady Tiger timeout here in set number 1. Parsons leading at 10-3. State Farm agent Cale Nelson is your local agent for home and auto. Contact Cale Nelson for a quote. Visit Cale's website, calenelson.com, or give Cale a call at 620-223-2828. Back in action on the floor. Out of the timeout. Fort Scott trying to get some momentum going in their direction as they trailed this first set 10-3. It's now 10-4 as Parsons unable to return that. A serve by Dakota. They'll get it back over to Raven. She'll set the far side. Avery. Dug by Parsons. They'll work it back around. Nice block at the net. Kylie Comstock trying to avoid a double contact there, so she got away with it. Tried to avoid that double contact or even a lift at that point. Tried to let a teammate come in, but couldn't quite get there in time. Come to Comstock on the near side. That one, just barely dug. Fort Scott fans not totally happy about it, but they did it on the other side with Keegan that time and couldn't get it back across the net. 12-4. Parsons with a very quick start to this opening frame. Serve the far side. Nice dig by Keegan. They'll get it back to Avery. Dig off the roof. Parsons, that's got to get over, and it's not going to. Again, another thing about volleyball, if you're new to the sport, you only have 3 chances to get it over the net. Most of the time, that means there's a dig and a set and then a swing. Sometimes it's a little bit awkward like that, but they do get it over the net. Now back over to Avery. She'll swing it, but swings it long. So it'll go out to 13-5 now. Parsons with the lead. Go back to Keegan. And nice swing by Keegan Yarick as she'll find the empty part of the court. Maybe Fort Scott can use that to start a little bit of a run here. It's now 13-6. Raven back to serve again for Fort Scott. Nice dig on the near sideline. Now swing is long. Parsons thought it was touched by one of the Fort Scott Lady Tigers, but that's not what the officials say there. So Fort Scott gets the point, keeps the serve, and now Raven back to do it again. Nice dig. So keep it. Now they get it to Hadley. They'll get it over. Back to the net. Parsons, nice block try by Fort Scott. Long dig that time. Raven able to use it to get it over the net. Now Parsons back across. Nice dig. Hadley again with that on the back line. Now, nice job by Fort Scott as they get it to Keegan. And Yarick able to smack that one home for another Fort Scott Lady Tiger point. 3 straight for the Lady Tigers. It's now 13-8. Not a great dig. They're going to get it over the net right to Keegan, and she finds the open space on the court to smack that one home. And just like that, it's 13-9. The Tiger student section getting a little bit rowdier as this rally continues for Fort Scott. Nice serve. Parsons able to get it over the net, though, around to Avery. Nice swing by Avery, but it's dug by Parsons. Back around. A good dig, a long dig, but a good one for Fort Scott to keep it alive. Now back over to Parsons. Another good dig by Dakota. She's had a couple in a row now. Avery Stewart, nice on the shot, but it's dug by Parsons. Back around it comes. Nice long rally going. They'll get it back over to Avery. Shot was into the net, and it's a 4 contact for Fort Scott. Lead back to 5 here in set number 1 for Parsons at 14-9. Over to Raven. Nice. They looked like they did a little bit of a fake out as they went to Avery on the near side that time. They've been really serving the far side, whether that's Avery or Dakota over there. But they get it to Avery on the near side that time. A little bit of a fake, and it works out for a point for the Lady Tigers. And Parsons gets it right back as they find the empty spot in the Fort Scott defense. That'll make it 15-10. They're come near side with the pass. Fort Scott really working that near front corner the last couple of times they've had it. And now Keegan Yarrick with the serve. Oh, nice swing that time by Hinman, Anaya Hinman. We'll call her name quite a bit during basketball season as well for the Lady Vikings. Pretty good athlete for Parsons. Now 16-12. Fort Scott, this one's got to go over. It does. Hazelbaker able to keep it alive, and then Parsons able to come right back, though. That'll make it 17-12 in favor of the Lady Vikings. It was off of a Parsons block, but they're able to keep it in play. Nice job by the Lady Tigers. Back over to Kylie, and she smacks it in. Nice swing by Kylie Comstock. The teams continue to trade points here over the last few points. 17-13. Dakota Hazelbaker with the serve rather. And that's off the Fort Scott block and down for a Parsons point. High dig that time. Raven able to use it to get it over the net. And they're going to call a double contact, it looks like, on Parsons. So Fort Scott will get the point. Parsons head coach wanting an explanation from the down official. And now she's going to send her captain over to talk to the up official. So at the moment, it's 18-14. We did see a violation call overturned in Fort Scott's first match, and I think that's what we're going to get here. So it'll go back to 18-13. We'll replay that previous point. So Hinman to serve again for Parsons. Serve out wide, but it's dug by Fort Scott. Blocked at the net, and it's going to stay in bounds. Tough luck for the Lady Tigers right over there on that far sideline. Avery thought it was going to go out of bounds, so she let it go, but it doesn't go all the way out. It catches the line. And just like that, it's 19-13 now in favor of Parsons. This serve is long by Hinman. Fort Scott will have a chance to get a little bit of a run going again. So cut that lead back to 5 at 19-14. Comstock with the serve. Go back near side, and Fort Scott just couldn't get around that swing there by Parsons. And the Lady Vikings are the first ones to 20 here in this set. Nice job to keep things alive there for Fort Scott. Try to do it again. A long dig that time by the Lady Tigers, but Parsons able to corral it on the far side. Nice block at the net by Keegan Yarrick, and that'll be a point for the Lady Tigers. Two straight for Fort Scott. We'll see if they can keep it going. Ravens still serving. Far side, and the swing comes back near side, but too far and out of bounds, so another point for the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. Long dig, very long dig for Fort Scott, but Parsons able to use it on the backside. Lady Tigers able to keep it alive on the near side. Now they'll get it over the net with Keegan. Parsons back near side. Nice block at the net by Fort Scott. It's kept alive, though, and the long dig is out of bounds. So tough luck there for the Lady Tigers. That'll make it 21-16 in favor of Parsons. Nice dig by Fort Scott. Kegler able to get it over the net. Parsons able to rebound. And heads up where we're at, as that one was dug backwards up into the crowd. 22-16 now, Parsons with the lead here in set one. Looks like Fort Scott's going to call their second timeout. Try to stop this run by Parsons here, as they're only 3 points away now from winning this first set. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management Financial Advisor. Contact Chad for more information at chad@1842wealth.com. Of course, that's his email address. Or you can call Chad at 620-215-9240. Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call them at 620-223-0300. Back in action here at the Tiger Dome. Lady Tigers trailing this first set 22-16, and now it's 22-17 as Keegan Yarrick picks up another kill. And now Avery Stewart back to serve for the Lady Tigers. Block at the net, and Fort Scott's going to come away with the point. Keegan with a solo block that time. Fort Scott back to within 4. And another, this time it was more of a missed hit by Parsons, but either way, Fort Scott gets the point. 22-19 now, the score. Avery to serve again. That one a little bit too long. So it'll go back over to Parsons. But a nice little rally there by the Lady Tigers. See if they can do it again. Parsons with a quick sub. They will send a server in. I believe that's Jayan Wyatt. Fort Scott goes far side. Nice little shot there by Hazelbaker, but it's dug by Parsons. This one's going to end up being a Lady Viking point as they came to the near side corner. Hadley Forrester played it. It may have been going out, but that's one that Fort Scott's been letting go here tonight, and it's been staying in. So Hadley wanted to make sure. And unfortunately, Fort Scott couldn't return it. So that makes this set point upcoming for the Lady Vikings. It's 24-19 here in the opening frame of this second match of the night for both of these teams. Tough dig that time by Fort Scott, but they'll get it around to Keegan. Shot there is dug back over the net by Parsons. They'll come middle to Keegan. Nice dig again by Parsons to keep it alive. They'll set far side this time, and a swing is long and was not touched, apparently, by Parsons. Dakota Hazelbaker with a great opportunity there. I thought maybe that one of the Vikings touched it, but they did not. So Parsons wins the opening set here, 25-19. We'll take a short break, come back with a second set in just a couple of moments. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger Volleyball on Duckbait TV. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition here in Fort Scott. Contact Jamie by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Again, a huge thanks to all of our sponsors here on Duckbait TV. We've got several of them there, as you see on your screen, and we could not do these broadcasts without them, so a huge shout out and thanks to those folks who are making these broadcasts possible. Again, we'll be back here at the Tiger Dome for some volleyball in the upcoming weeks. We'll tell you more about that when that gets closer, but we'll be back at the football stadium, back at Furry Field on Friday with our next Fort Scott Tiger football broadcast. The Tigers taking on Independence. Both teams 1-1 coming into that matchup on Friday, so looking forward to that. Last couple seasons, it's been a pretty good game between the Tigers and Bulldogs, so we anticipate a good one again, and hopefully the Fort Scott Tigers can come out with another victory just like they did last week over the Springfield Central Bulldogs. But first things first, we'll hope that Lady Tigers can come back and get the second set here against Parsons. First serve is long for the Lady Vikings, so Fort Scott will take the initial lead here, 1-0. Ball is dug over by Parsons. Fort Scott able to get to the near corner and far corner rather, and got it in. So Fort Scott with the point. Keegan Yarrick with the kill. And that makes it 2-0 quickly here in the second set. Again, Fort Scott needs to win this one to force a third. If Parsons wins this one after winning the first set, the match will be over. He set the middle, but it's dug by Fort Scott. Back, Yarrick. Keegan went up to block that shot, and it wasn't quite over the net. So it looked like it hit her in the back of the head there and fell on Fort Scott's side. They still had a couple of touches to use, or one touch at least anyway, after Keegan touched it there. But couldn't get the ball back over the net. So Parsons with a point. That'll make it 2-1. And that one is dug over but out by Fort Scott. So quickly 2-2. Near side. Nice little drop shot for Fort Scott, and it goes under the net. Supposed to go over. So that'll be another point for Fort Scott. They lead it 3-2. What you're trying to do, going up against the other team, makes things difficult for them. Make the other team make mistakes, and that's another Parsons mistake that time, as Hinman tried a very heavy swing on the far side and didn't get it over the net. Tried to put some angle on it, and fortunately for the Lady Tigers, it just didn't get all the way over the net. This time, a serve is long for Fort Scott. So now it's 4-3. Dig, very long dig, but Fort Scott able to use it. And they get it back to Keegan, and she smacks it in again. Another very competitive, heavy swing from Keegan Yarrick, and that makes it a 5-3 set here in favor of the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. Keegan, for her efforts, will go back to serve now. Set the far side. Fort Scott tried to get a block in there, but it didn't work. Back over, and that one's in. Nice shot there by Kylie Comstock, as she'll make it 6-3 Fort Scott. Clipped the line over there on the far side. And again, that makes it 6-3. Back to the center to Hinman, and it's going to end up being out of bounds off of Fort Scott. So Parsons with the serve here. Again, they won the first set 25-19. Now we got a quick stoppage here as the JV ball comes flying through the varsity court. Now we're ready to play. Near side it comes. Nice swing that time, but a little bit too strong for Kylie Comstock. And you wonder sometimes maybe if you're not super familiar with volleyball, why don't you do the same shot every time and make sure that it gets in? Well, it's part of that wanting to force the other team into some mistakes. Sometimes you want to hit it as hard as you can so that it goes off of their block and out of bounds. Unfortunately, that time for Keegan, Kylie, they pulled the block back, and now Parsons gets another point, so it's now tied at 6 here in set 2. That'll get over the net. It's the third touch there. Parsons does get it over, keeps it alive. Nice job by Kylie. They set the middle, and she hit it to the far side and found some empty court. Fort Scott back on top, 7-6. I don't believe Fort Scott, this set's been tied a couple of times. I don't think Parsons has ever led in this second set. Set the outside. Not a great swing that time, but it works out for points for Parsons. Not great contact there by the outside hitter, left outside hitter for Parsons, but they were able to get the point nonetheless. Comstock able to get it over the net for Fort Scott. Parsons back, goes to the far side. Nice little scoop shot, but it's dug back there on the back row by Hadley. They'll work it near side to Dakota. Parsons able to keep it alive. Now back over to Fort Scott. They'll come back near side. That one's blocked at the net, but Fort Scott able to keep it going again. Another little drop shot that time for Fort Scott. This is the third touch. It's got to get over, and it does for Parsons. Back over, and nice job by Kylie Comstock, finding the near side that time and smacking it home for another Tiger point. And there's an out of rotation. I think that's the first time we've seen that tonight. but out of rotation on Parsons. So Fort Scott gets a free point, and they'll keep the serve. You've seen this a lot more from Parsons, the way they set up, than the other teams here tonight, where they actually do some different formations, much similar to what you would see in a college volleyball match. Not a lot of high school teams, at least at this level, do those kinds of things on their setup. A nice block that time by Kylie, and she will get another kill for the Lady Tigers, and they'll be the first ones to 10 as it is 10-7, and now Parsons is going to call a timeout. So the Lady Vikings will take a timeout, and they'll try to get the momentum back on their side a little bit. Fort Scott with a nice little run here. So Parsons again won the first set, 25-19. Fort Scott now leading the second, 10-7. If Fort Scott can get this one, there will be a third set here in this match tonight. If Parsons can come back and win, the match will be over. Again, best 2 out of 3. First one to 25, winning by 2. Kylie able to get the ball over the net for Fort Scott. Parsons able to get back to the far side. Nice little block, and it's going to stay on Parsons' side. So they tried to swing it into the block, but kind of come down the net a little bit, and it just rolled over onto Parsons' side of the net. So Fort Scott able to get the point there. This rally continues. That's 4 straight points for the Lady Tigers. They now lead at 11-7. Another good serve by Dakota. And that one's maybe blocked, but might have just been hit into the net by Parsons. Anaya Hinman with a back row attack, but couldn't get enough air on it. And Fort Scott now leads it by 5. Nice little scoop shot there or drop shot rather, by Parsons, but Fort Scott able to keep it alive. Now back over to the far side. And tough luck there for Fort Scott as Hadley Forrester tried to dig that on the back row and just couldn't get all the way underneath it. And the point goes back over to Parsons. Set number 2. Lady Tigers with the lead here 12-8 after losing the first set. So they need to win this second set just to keep the match alive. Near side set that time for Parsons. Fort Scott able to return it. Get it over the net. Nice little drop shot again by Avery Stewart. Now one hit into the net by Parsons, so Fort Scott will get the point. Avery looked around. She was disappointed. She thought that drop shot was pretty good. It did look pretty good from this vantage point. But Parsons able to get around and dig it, keep it alive for the moment, but then hit it into the net. So Fort Scott able to come away with the point anyway. They now lead by 5 here in the second frame. And it's back to 4 as Ashka Patel found some empty court on the Fort Scott side of the net. Now 13-9. Nice dig by Fort Scott. Back around. Parsons able to keep it alive. They'll get it over the net. Fort Scott back on offense. Swinging around. Nice swing and a great kill by, that was Keegan, I believe, that time. So Keegan Yarick with the kill that time, and Fort Scott increases their lead back out to 5. Raven Kegler back to serve. Nice job by Fort Scott. They'll bring it back to the near side. Ball deflected at the net, but it stays on Parsons' side of the court, and Fort Scott will get the point. Lady Tigers have found something here in this second set. They trailed most of the first set, and again, Parsons won that one. Fort Scott trying to come back here in the second frame. They set the back row. Now they get it over the net. Back to, oh, nice job by Keegan to block that one, and Parsons couldn't get around to handle it. So 16-9, Fort Scott with the lead here in set number 2. Raven to serve again. Long dig that time. Parsons able to corral it for a moment, and then Fort Scott couldn't handle it on the other side. So the point goes back over to Parsons, but the Lady Tigers still lead this one by 6. Quick sub for the Lady Vikings. And the serve is into the net, so point back over to Fort Scott. Back up to a 7-point lead here in set number 2 at 17-10. Back to serve is Avery Stewart. Served it long, but it's dug by Parsons. Not too long, they had to get to it. And that one's not going to get over the net. Fort Scott's going to take it. Back to an 8-point lead, and now another timeout for Parsons as they will call their second and final timeout here in set number 2. So Parsons is out of timeouts for the second frame. Fort Scott with an 8-point lead here in set number 2 after losing the first set 25-19, but leading here 18-10. Out of the timeout, Fort Scott still with the serve. Hinman with a swing, but it's too long. Fort Scott able to jump back off of that one and let her swing it through. I think she was trying to hit it off the Fort Scott block and out of bounds, but they let it go through, and it was a little bit too long. Out to a 9-point lead here in this set for Fort Scott. Swing, that one's too wide, so Fort Scott's going to get another point. They were the first ones to 20 here in set number 2. They didn't make it to 20 in the first set. First ones to 20 here in set number 2. They lead at 20-10 over Parsons. Again, Fort Scott trails by 1 set, so they still have to win this set, and they're getting closer and closer by the point. Got to win this set to force a third. Try to end this night at 1-1 after losing the first match of the evening to Lebec County. Very tight match. It was a 2-setter, but a very tight one nonetheless. We've got some breathing room here in this second set, leading by 11, trying to close this one out and force a third against the Parsons Lady Vikings. Parsons goes to Inman on the far side, but it's back by Fort Scott at another point. What a swing. I believe that was Dakota Hazelbaker on the near side, front row for Fort Scott. And Parsons unable to return it. So 22-10. Fort Scott with the lead here in set number 2, trying to force a third and deciding set here in this second match of the night. Serve a little bit short, but does get over the net. Now Fort Scott able to come back. Swing, and it's a little bit long that time for the Lady Tigers, so the point goes back over to Parsons. 22-11. Again, Fort Scott just 3 points away from forcing a third set here tonight. You got a little bit of breathing room, but you don't want to get too complacent on the other side of the net for the Lady Tigers. Fort Scott keeps it alive. Oh, nearly a Fort contact. Fort Scott, this one's got to get over. It does. Nice dig again by Kegler. Back row attack. Fort Scott able to get it over the net. Back over to Inman for Parsons. That swing is long. Lady Tigers get another one. 23-11. And Keegan with a serve into the net that time. So 23-12. You might wonder, why did they try to serve it short like that? They've been serving long quite a bit tonight. Want to try to give Parsons a little bit of a different look that time, and unfortunately it didn't work out quite well for the Fort Scott Tigers, but that swing is a little bit long there too, so it's back to a 10-point set advantage for Fort Scott at 23-13. Again, plenty of breathing room for Fort Scott, but you don't want to get too complacent like I mentioned earlier. They'll get it over the net here. Inman gets it over for Parsons. Now back around it comes. Kegler will do it for Fort Scott. Now back to Inman. Oh, what a great block by Kylie Comstock. A solo block at the net. We hope she does that in December and January against Inman as well on the basketball court, but great job for Fort Scott, as they will now be 1 point away from forcing this third set, leading at 24-13. Goes back far side, a long dig that time. Fort Scott able to get it over the net. Nice job by Kylie to finish it off. Now they'll come back the other side for Parsons. They'll get it over the net. Back around it comes Kegler. They'll get it back to Kylie. That one's blocked at the net. It'll go over for Parsons off of one of the Fort Scott Lady Tigers and out of bounds. So Parsons will get a point there, but they've got to make a huge run to get back in this one. Another set point here for Fort Scott. They've got 10 more to go before Parsons, I believe that's right, at least 9 anyway. Parsons trailing by 10. They've got to get 10 straight points before Fort Scott gets one and get another one there. Two straight here for Parsons. Started out with 11 set points in a row for Fort Scott. Now it's down to 9. Go around to the far side, Parsons will, and they'll find the empty spot on the court. If nothing else for the Lady Vikings, if they can't come back and win this set, they're going to try to get it some momentum going into that third set for sure. Fort Scott got to get it finished off here. Get it to Kylie. She did get it over the net. Blocked by Kylie, but it's dug by Parsons. They'll get far side again. Another block by Fort Scott, but they couldn't get it over the net that time. 5 straight Lady Viking points. They're back to a 7-point set lead, 24-17. Fort Scott still has both timeouts here in this set. They may need to use one here in the next point or two. Goes over far side. Dug by Parsons. They'll get it back around to the other side. Blocked. It's going out of bounds. But Parsons played it anyway. And now Fort Scott able to get it over the net. And they get the point. So Fort Scott takes set number 2, 25-17. After losing the first one, 25-19. So we'll have a third set for you tonight. We'll take a short break and come back. This is Fort Scott Lady Tiger Volleyball on Duckbait TV. Thanks for joining us this evening. Highway 3, modern personalized fleece name blankets, fun and unique personalized gifts. Follow their Facebook page at facebook.com/shophighway3 or check out their website, shophighway3.com. Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition in Fort Scott. Contact her by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. H2 Painting LLC, the right way, the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2PaintingSEK or call them at 620-605-2769. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management financial advisor. Contact Chad for more information at chad@1842wealth.com or call Chad at 620-215-9240. Your local agent for home and auto, local State Farm agent for home and auto is Cale Nelson. Contact Cale for a quote. You can visit Cale's website at calenelson.com or give Cale a call at 620-223-2828. And Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit Liberty Savings at 24 South Judson or call them at 620-223-0300. Just about to start the third set here tonight. Fort Scott Lady Tigers winning the second set after losing the first set, so we've got a deciding third set here tonight. First point goes to Fort Scott. They get out to a quick 1-0 lead. Nice dig on the back row. They'll set Keegan. Nice swing by Keegan as she found the far side court or far sideline and kept that ball in bounds. Almost looked like a little bit like a Patrick Mahomes type pass there, where she was looking to the right, swung it back to the left, and Lady Tigers take a quick 2-0 lead here in this set. At the net, now back around. Raven Kegler trying to out-jump one of the Parsons front liners, but did a pretty good job there. Kept it alive for Fort Scott. Now they get it back. Keegan gets it over the net. Back over to Parsons. They'll set the middle. Long dig that time for Fort Scott. And Parsons able to slam it home for their first point of this third set. Fort Scott gets to the far side, swing a little bit long that time by Briley Schaub, and that'll tie up this set at 2 apiece. Second set was tied a few times, but I don't remember Parsons ever leading in that second set. Fort Scott able to go on a run about midway through that second set, and really put it away early. Swing that time by Parsons. They'll find the back corner, and they take a 3-2 lead. Parsons won the first frame 25-19. Fort Scott came back, won the second one 25-17. So that's why we're playing a third one here tonight. In this second match of the evening, Fort Scott lost their first match tonight against Labette County. It was just a two-setter, but it was a very tight two-setter, especially the second set. It went 20. I think Labette County won that one 28-26. I think was the final score there. As Parsons gets another point here in this set. Fort Scott with a lot of momentum towards the end of that second set, trying to hope that it comes back again here for them on this one, but shot there into the net again on the far side. So it's now 5-2 Parsons. This set is starting a little bit like the first one did for the Lady Vikings. Dig on the back row. Now they'll get it back over to Keegan in the middle. Nice job by Schaub to get it over the net for Fort Scott. Back over to Hinman, and she'll find the empty corner of the court. That'll make it 6-2. And Fort Scott will take a timeout. So Fort Scott takes their first time out in a couple of sets, first one of this set. And that will give us another chance to tell you, to remind everybody out there, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of your screen. Thanks again for watching us here on Duckbait TV on YouTube.com. You hit that subscribe button, a couple of things will happen. First of all, it will be really easy for you to find the next time you log on to your YouTube page. But also, once we get to 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will go ahead and automatically archive our broadcast. So it'll be really easy to find a replay of our games on Duckbait TV. A nice point there for Fort Scott. They swung it right into the block for Parsons on purpose as it went off of Parsons and out of bounds. Try to find Inman on the near side. She gets it over, but Fort Scott able to keep it alive. Oh, nice job by Fort Scott using the gym to their advantage. Dakota Hazelbaker swung through that one. It went off of one of the back row players and then up into the basketball gym, or basketball court. The basketball goal is what I was trying to say. And took a funky bounce, so Fort Scott able to get the point there, and that makes it 6-4. Again, those goals are in play. The rafters in the roof are also in play. Just got to keep going off of those. Sometimes they take a funky bounce, and a miss hit that time by Parsons gets the Lady Tigers back to within one. It's now 6-5. I mentioned earlier in the evening, timeouts in volleyball. I've been blessed to broadcast several sports in my career. Timeouts in volleyball seem to be the biggest momentum shifters, really, of any sport. And that has been the case here a couple of times for the Lady Tigers tonight. Even much more so than basketball, in my opinion, at least. There's a swing by Parsons. They'll get it through and in for the point. That'll make it 7-5. It's not uncommon at all, really. Rather, it's much more common in volleyball for a timeout to be followed by the team taking the timeout to score 3 or 4, maybe even 6 or 7 points in a row after the timeout. Fort Scott's going to get another point here. That'll make it a 7-6 score here in set number 3. Parsons dug that one wide, hit the flag in the middle of the court, but able to get it back over, and then Kylie Comstock knocks one through. So that'll tie the score here at 7 apiece in the third set. Yarrick back to serve this time for Fort Scott. Nice jump serve, dug on the back row by Parsons. They'll set the middle, but it didn't get over the net. Looked like they were trying to get it to Patel, and she didn't get enough juice on it. Fort Scott's going to take the lead at 8-7. 3 straight points for the Lady Tigers. Yarrick serving again. Parsons able to get it over the net, gives Fort Scott a little bit of trouble getting it back over, but they do. Now back over far side. That one's going to be off the Fort Scott block and out of bounds. Actually ended up in hitting one of the net stanchions on the near side. So we're tied at 8 points apiece in the third set of 3 tonight. Nice dig on the back row by the Lady Tigers. That was Avery Stewart back there to keep it alive. This one is swung long by the time for Parsons. So Fort Scott back on top by the slimmest of margins, 9-8. Oh, they found the corner. Something that Labette County was able to do often against Fort Scott in that first match tonight, but Fort Scott's been better at defending that corner here in this second match. Fortunately, couldn't get that taken care of this time. Dig straight up in the air. Softened it up quite a bit. Fort Scott able to keep it alive. Nice job by Kegler. I don't think they were anticipating that coming over the net, but it did just trickle over the Fort Scott side of the net. Raven read it perfectly, able to knock it back over to Parsons, and they were not ready for that. Set the middle. Nice dig. It's a long dig, though. That's going to go over the net. Back to the corner. Nice dig by Fort Scott. They'll keep it alive, keep it into the middle. Nice job. A recovery by Kylie. Now back over it comes. Back to Raven. They'll go to the far side with it. Nice little drop shot, but it's dug there by Parsons. They'll get it back across the net. It's just kind of hitting back across. Now back around. Oh, what a shot there by Kylie Comstock. 11-9. Fort Scott with the lead here in set number 3. And another out of rotation call. That's the second one tonight on Parsons. Gives Fort Scott a free point. Short serve that time, and that gives Parsons all kinds of issues. And the Lady Vikings will take a timeout, their first of the set. Both teams have taken one timeout here in set number 3. Again, Parsons won the first, 25-19. Fort Scott came back, won the second, 25-17. So the winner of this one wins the match, and the Lady Tigers trying to make that themselves. Point goes to Parsons there. Lady Vikings back to serve. Fort Scott will come near side. Looked like a little bit of spin on that one coming from Comstock. And Fort Scott gets the point. They'll get it over the net. They'll keep it alive. Fort Scott come back near side. Back over to Keegan. Shot there is in! Or it's off the block for Parsons. And out of bounds. So Fort Scott's point, it's now 15-10. Dig on the back row there by Parsons. They'll set the far side, and Fort Scott put a block up but didn't close off enough space. They will officially call that a lift on Keegan Yarrick, but either way, didn't get a clean block, and it didn't stay on Parsons' side of the court. And that one served right into the net for the Lady Vikings, so it'll be 16-11 Fort Scott, as they will get a chance to serve again. And a swing there is right into the net again for Parsons. Fort Scott back out to 17-11 here in the third and deciding set of the night. Nice shot there by Keegan. Parsons, there was enough on that they couldn't get around the dig, and it goes out of bounds. 18-11, Fort Scott on top here in set number 3. Again, don't forget, if you're watching us for the first time or you just haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. A couple of things will happen with that. First of all, once we get to 1,000 subscribers, YouTube will automatically archive our broadcasts. So that's a positive. Also, once you hit that subscribe button, the next time you sign into YouTube, as that's an ace for Fort Scott out of the timeout. So they're trying to run away with this third set and now lead it 19-11. But once you hit that subscribe button, the next time you sign into YouTube, it'll come up with your subscriptions. It'll be really easy to find us at Duckbait TV the next time. Not that hopefully it wasn't too hard for you to find us the first time you found us, but it'll be really easy once you hit that subscribe button. It's now 20-11. Fort Scott on top here in set number 3, trying to run away with this one here tonight, this second match of the evening. Another serve for Raven Kegler. Block at the net, a double block that's in there for Fort Scott. Briley Schaub and Keegan Yarick both teaming together to get that block on the front row for Fort Scott. Short serve that time by Kegler rather. Go to the far side. Nice swing by Avery. Parsons able to keep it alive, though. Nice dig by Hadley on the back row for Fort Scott. And another swing that's in for the Tigers. 22-11 here in set number 3. And a miss hit by Patel gives the Lady Tigers another point. Raven Kegler, similar run for the Lady Tigers that they had in that second set when they got out to a big lead and ended up winning it. Doing the same thing here in the third set. Raven still serving for the Tigers. Ooh. That one was a miss hit by the Fort Scott Lady Tigers. Parsons will get the serve back. It's 23-12. Fort Scott with the lead here in set number 3. Fort Scott will keep it alive on the far side. Keegan gets it over the net. Dug towards the net by Parsons. They able to keep it going. Now back over to Keegan. She'll find the empty part of the court and hits it in, and now we got a match point for the Lady Tigers. 24-12, set number 3. Fort Scott with their first match point of the night, and we'll see if they can take care of it here. Avery Stewart serving. Parsons goes near side. Nice little drop shot, but it's dug up by Fort Scott. Go far side with it. Parsons able to keep it alive. Now they'll try to back corner it. It does not work. It is too wide, and the Fort Scott Lady Tigers get the victory here tonight. 25-12 is your third set score as Fort Scott wins this match 2-1. What a final set there for the Lady Tigers. They had to win the second one to force a third. They did so, and then very impressive in the third set as well, as they come away with a victory here tonight. So Fort Scott loses the first match, a very tight 2-set match in the first match tonight against Labette County, but then comes back and gets the win in 3 sets over Parsons. The Vikings won the first set 25-19. Fort Scott comes back, wins the second 25-17, and then blows out Parsons in the third set 25-12. Again, a huge thanks to all of our sponsors for making these broadcasts possible. We'll read through the list once again here. Again, Liberty Savings has been in Fort Scott since 1919, helping community members with their banking needs for over 100 years. Visit them at 24 South Judson or call 620-223-0300. And I've said this before, if you call at the right time of the day, you probably will be talking to me. I answer the phones there and have a great time there at Liberty Savings. But anyway, give us a call if you want if you need some banking help there. Also, your State Farm agent Cale Nelson is your local agent for home and auto. Contact Cale Nelson for a quote. Visit Cale's website at calenelson.com or call Cale at 620-223-2828. H2 Painting LLC, the right way the first time. Look them up on Facebook at facebook.com/H2PaintingSEK or call them at 620-605-2769. They are great, by the way. If you ever have any painting needs, give these folks at H2 Painting a call. They'll hook you up the right way there. Chad Cousins is your local 1842 Wealth Management Financial Advisor. Contact Chad for more information at chad@1842wealth.com. Of course, that's his email address. You can also call Chad at 620-215-9240. Modern personalized fleece name blankets, fun and unique personalized gifts, and just about everything else you could ever want at Highway 3. Follow their Facebook page at facebook.com/shophighway3 or check out their website, shophighway3.com. And Edward Jones has been advising customers in the world of finance for over 100 years. Financial advisor Jamie Armstrong continues that tradition here in Fort Scott. Contact Jamie by phone at 620-223-1866 or email Jamie at jamie.armstrong@edwardjones.com. Again, thanks so much for joining us here on Duckbait TV. Really excited, really happy, really proud to be able to bring you another way to watch your Fort Scott Tigers this fall. And we've got our first volleyball night out of the way. And again, the Fort Scott Tigers lose the first match tonight to the Labette County Lady Grizzlies. 2-0 was the set score there, but both of those sets were very tight. And so Fort Scott come away with a tough loss in the first set, come back and win the second match in this one here tonight over Parsons, win it 2-1 by winning the third set 25-12. So again, a big night for Fort Scott. Good to see at least a split in the evening, and what a second match for Fort Scott, as it did go all three sets, and they do get the victory here tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back at Prairie Field on Friday. The Fort Scott Tiger football team hosting the Independence Bulldogs, and we'll have all the coverage for you here on Duckbait TV. We'll start that a little bit before kickoff. Again, we don't have a whole lot of a pregame show at the moment. So we'll start that broadcast about 6:55 or so. So anyways, join us for that on Friday, as we'll bring you Fort Scott Tiger football against the Independence Bulldogs. Until then, for my dad here on camera tonight, Willie Abatey, I'm Tony Abatey. All the Duckbaits out there, thanks for joining us on Duckbait TV. Good night, Kansas.